Welcome to the Frank Marketing Podcast, where we discuss everything about marketing, SEO and PPC. Enjoy. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Frank Marketing Podcast. My name is Lee Buttry and I'm the PPC specialist here and one half of Frank, and I'm joined by Zoe Ashbridge, our legendary SEO expert. Today's episode is all about how SEO and PPC work together, but more importantly, it's all about how we've used it and how our tactics have helped us succeed with marketing. SEO and PPC are treated as like separate channels quite often, and we've combined forces. So we wanted to talk to you about how we do this and why it is important and how it looks like in real life. So hi Zoe, how are you?
Hi Lee, I'm doing good, thank you. How are you? Are you good?
Yes, I'm well, thank you. I'm good. It's apart from the heat wave that we've experienced.
Yeah, we're having another heat wave. It's horrible. I was talking to a guy the other day who was Jamaican, and he was like, I don't know what it is with the heat in England. He said, but so like obviously it's super high temperatures there. He was like, it makes you, it's like the heat makes you so lazy. It's like, I can't stand it. That's what I hate about it, is I cannot function in it. I struggle to work. It will take me 5 hours to do an hour of work sometimes, and that now I just do what you taught me, which is to go to a place with aircon, get a coffee, and it's changed my life now. I'm so happy with it.
I love how you're really coy about not saying where you were going.
Oh yeah, Starbucks.
Just go to a coffee shop. I know Starbucks have got some money from us recently, but
yeah,
I went there, was it last Friday, I think? And I actually ended up getting a jacket out of the car because I was cold.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm in a pair of shorts right now, and I'm like, I think if I go to Starbucks and these, I will be too cold. But do you know what I like about it? You can really enjoy like a hot drink, because I do miss like a hot coffee. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's good. How's life? How's work?
Work is absolutely sweet at the moment. I have a little nephew. He's like 15 days old now. I met him 2 days ago. Super cute, lovely. Yeah, that's just lovely. And I had a little holiday, just a little seaside break in Barmouth, little seaside town, about 2 hours away from us. And we did camping, went with my other brother.
You randomly saw my son there.
Yes, I saw you in there. We haven't talked about that, have we? Yeah, you just walked in. I was like, oh, you always see someone in Barmouth, don't you? And I've always got a little eye open, because it's the closest beach to us, isn't it? You always see someone from Shropshire in Barmouth. And yeah, I saw Ewan, and he was like walking behind a man who I think that's Lee's dad. Well, I wasn't sure, because I didn't really see him. And he was and I tapped him on the shoulder and said hello to me. Yeah, fun. What about you? What's been going on? What's new?
So what's new? Work's good. I've got some really exciting news about a client, and I can't say it on here because I don't know if it's common knowledge, but this really exciting. I might have to tell you offline.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's been really exciting. And then I was in London last weekend when you saw Ewan. I went to see Ludovica, Hall and Aldi.
That's nice. Yeah.
It was incredible. Cool. It was so nice. But London was the heat and the tube.
Oh, it was vile
disgusting.
down there.
Oh, it's horrible.
It gets humid. Not even the tube though. Like London heat is disgusting, I think. It's vile. Sticky, horrible. And then the tube is disgusting, yeah.
But apart from that, I'm very fortunate to have stayed somewhere very nice, which had aircon in the room. Because not all hotels have aircon.
No, not in the UK. Maybe not.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, so we're going to start by sharing how we started working together, because it's kind of relevant actually. It's completely relevant. So to try and keep it brief, because I think we have done a full podcast on this before, on how we got into freelancing. I started freelancing just because I could come home from traveling. It was COVID and I couldn't really get a job back in the agency I used to work in. So I just started on Upwork. And while I worked in a supermarket, that's what I did. And I had this client who was like a jewelry brand. And I was also getting like little jobs for like conversion rate optimization. And, I was a little bit underconfident at the time because I was like a new freelancer, had some imposter syndrome. So I would like call Lee, who had a full-time job at the time, for support. Lee and I had worked in an agency for about 7 years together, something like that. So we worked together really well. And we were like account managers or project managers. So we were like pretty like generalist on marketing. We knew the landscape, we knew how to manage a client, we knew how to manage a project and get things done on time. And then when we'd left this agency for separate reasons, we had both just kind of coincidentally ended up carving out careers in different parts of marketing. So I've got a bit of a writing background, always loved to write. So I went down the SEO route. That kind of was my segue into that. And Lee went into like paid advertising. And we didn't really think anything of that until this jewelry brand came in and they wanted some pay-per-click support. So they hired Lee and became Lee's first ever client, and they were my current client. And then what we kind of learned was that pairing SEO and pay-per-click made us a more like desirable team, because we were no longer operated in silos with these two different tactics. We were bringing them together so they were both stronger together.
I remember the first campaign we were doing, and I'm sure it was Mother's Day.
Yes, that sounds right. Yeah, I think it was.
And I remember us talking, and we sat down and we were like, how does both of our marketing efforts work together to make this a success? And I remember you were working on a landing page, and it was kind of like the first time I think marketing had just clicked for me. So I'm talking.
Yeah, I think same.
I all know like all these little things happen, but like it was the first time we went, oh, of course, why are we not working and doing exactly the same thing? Why are we not working together on this?
Yeah, do you know what? I think I agree with that. It was the first time marketing clicked. I think I really agree. I mean, bear in mind, this is now like a good, 6 years ago. So we were still quite young, really. I think young, certainly in our career and how we were thinking about marketing. I think you're right. I think that is the first time marketing properly clicked. Oh, I love that. I've never thought about that before.
Yeah, because I remember speaking with you, and I think because it was like I said, it was my first client. I think Zoe, it was one of your first ones. And I don't know if about you, but I think because we were so new to it, or at least I was, being a freelancer, I think you kind of overcompensate because of freelancing at the time. It's like you really want to do just a really good job. It's your name on the line. You're not hiding behind anyone. So I think for me, you really overcompensate. So I think for me, I just wanted to do such a good job. And it was the first time I could actually sit down and think, because I was doing this like in the evenings outside of my full-time job. And I remember just sitting there and actually being able to think about what would I do if this was my brand, and, what would we do for marketing? And I think that was when it just really just made sense. Okay, well, Zoe can do all the writing. Zoe can create a page for it. We can send people to that page, because at the time, the client didn't have a Mother's Day landing page, if you like. It was kind of just sending people just to the shop. But because of the type of brand it was, they were quite really thoughtful pieces. And I thought, well, we could do something with this. And I remember you bringing in elements of storytelling that we'd seen on other pages that could bring into that. And we could update it to be Mother's Day themed. And we could bring in really created pieces that are picked out for Mother's Day specifically. I think it was just really nice that we were able to just spend that time and do it. And it just really worked. I remember oh, wow, okay, this is something now.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We've never articulated that before, but I completely agree. Yeah, good times. Cool. Well, we're going to jump in now. We've got a little bit of background of where this kind of connection of SEO and pay-per-click started. We're going to get into some real life examples of actual campaigns and tactics where we have felt SEO and pay-per-click have been really strong together. So the first one, I think we can say this brand name. These, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why I'm always quite coy with brand names, just in case they don't like to be shared or something.
We don't work with them anymore.
No, we don't work with them anymore. I think I'll be okay, won't it?
That's true. We haven't decided on this, which was decided. The only thing is, though, there's monetary value on some of these stats is all.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We're going to say a leading B2B SaaS company. Always a leading one.
A leading, yes.
Yeah. So B2B SaaS company, who were lovely. We don't work with them anymore, but we ended on the most lovely terms with these. I'd love to work with them again. They weren't really doing any SEO and pay-per-click from memory. That we were kind of quite new in there. They had some investment. They were spending it on marketing. Yeah. And we got the SEO and pay-per-click job. We love them so much.
They're kind of doing it in-house, if I remember rightly, but not to the extent that we would come in. So it was very bare minimum stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. They were just kind of getting through, weren't they? They already had they have thin pages of everything. So they already had like a blog. They already had their services pages. You already had some comparison pages. But we got in there and we built these pages up. So one of the projects was competitor pages.
So just a back step, the reason we did a competitor page is because this particular company was kind of like up and coming.
Yes.
And there were also already quite large competitors out there. And these guys had very unique, they had USPs that were completely different and really made them stood out. But given the fact that they had a smaller marketing budget, it was very competitive on the PPC landscape. So one of the things we did, which some people agree or some people don't, is I was running competitor ads. So I was bidding on competitor names to try and get them more recognition from other, people searching them because they're so well known.
Yeah.
And then it clicked to me, well, if you know PPC and you get quality score and keywords that we couldn't run competitor keywords very well because we didn't have the competitor keyword on the landing page, which is why these landing pages came out.
Yeah, exactly. So we created like versus pages, alternative pages, there was the same page ranking for two different keywords. And we ended up getting these pages onto page 1 quite quickly, actually, back then. And would probably be different now. Would be different now because of all the AI and pages being generated. That went really well from an SEO perspective. And then I think your pay-per-click work was probably the most impactful on those pages, wasn't it? So I'll let you talk about your stats there, and where they came from and how you found them.
Yeah, and I think, so going back to this, it was like, that was just one tactic we did for them. We knew that we needed that brand awareness. So Zoe had created these really cool competitor comparison pages, which really helped them stand out. And what it did is it got users people who were searching for competitors were already in that mindset of wanting the software or whatever it was. So these were quite an easy converting page, if you like, because someone's already got that user intent. We're not just it's not heavy prospecting. They're a little bit further down the funnel. The competitor page just kind of pushes them over the edge a little bit. And this is obviously part of a larger project. This isn't just from the singular page, but just to give you some stats about this project. So I think they ended up looking at their pipeline. They had like 260K worth of contracts in the pipeline from search campaigns, a 200% increase in conversions. So that, like I said, they were doing PPC, but on a very minimal level. And we didn't really increase budgets all that much. We just got better with our strategy. Yeah, I don't remember them having a huge budget for PPC, if I remember rightly.
They didn't.
I think because they wanted like a proof of they wanted a proof of concept, like, can this work, doesn't it?
Yeah, it scraped by on our budget. I can remember on what we would take. It was when we probably wouldn't take it now, to be fair. It was a very small budget, yeah. But they did really well with it. Well, you did well with it.
But I think, again, though, what was beautiful with that is that realistically, we took a bit of a hit in terms of price and of having both of us on the account. But we knew the value of having us both do the same thing because resources get shared. Mm-hmm. So the pages that you're working on for SEO, they were shared. We worked together so they could be PPC landing pages, if you like, as well.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we ended up quite quickly getting 133 new keywords onto page 1, and that was including money generating pages as well. So of which the competitor pages were one. And I always love this in SEO is an increase in like non-brand keywords. So we always track that. We had an 82% increase on those. Some of those would have been like to a blog and stuff for sure. Yeah, so it was a really good project. I wanted to say something. Oh yeah, competitor pages. So I've always said this about competitor pages, but it has never been more true today. Competitor pages are usually like best SaaS platform for something. I talk about it all the time, but these keywords are always reserved for like third-party credibility. So someone else saying it about a brand. And with the AI stuff coming in the last few years, people have really gravitated to these as like basically like a hack to get into the AI system. So AI overviews or ChatGPT or whatever. You cannot write a page like saying that you're the best software for something and expect to rank. And I wrote a LinkedIn post about this 5 months ago. There is now some data on this. So a guy called Mike Saunders has done some small scale research looking at 177 AI overviews. And what he's finding is that when the vendor's listicle was cited, the vendor was mentioned only 31% of times. So 69% of times your article is being used to cite the competitors that you've mentioned, because you can't say you're the best of something. So like if we did an article rounding up, I don't know, SEO agencies, and we compared us against Neil Patel, that article's going to do more work for Neil Patel than it would for us from an AI search perspective.
That is completely flip on its head, because that's never the...
Yes, it's changed.
Wow.
Lily Ray has done some research on this as well, and she was kind of saying that it seems that these listicle articles are having like a negative impact on AI and SEO. And I think she's got a bigger piece coming out on this, which will be really interesting because she'll have a larger data set. But it's to some degree, it has always been like this. Like SEO, traditional SEO, the blue links have always preferred, in most cases, the third party PR type stuff.
No, but like now, but it's, I guess what you can't really easily on an AI overview know where that source is coming from.
Not always. No, sometimes you'll get cited it. Sometimes it gets cited, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, like unless you're like hovering over and you look at where the domain is coming from. It's wow, that's interesting.
But then this is like another reason why you should connect your SEO and your pay-per-click, because like, okay, we've made a competitor page. It may or may not do more for your competitor than your brand in AI. But if you're putting ads to it and capturing a certain audience who want the competitor analysis page, if they want that page, then you might convert them anyway through pay-per-click. So all is not lost. Just because it won't necessarily do the heavy lifting in AI search, it might do the heavy lifting in pay-per-click. And that is why we connect marketing efforts.
That's blown my mind, that stat. Well done.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And by the way, I shared this in our June newsletter, so subscribe. It's new. We've only sent 2 newsletters.
I love that.
We include like a tip. We include one thing that's like quite big in SEO, one thing that's quite big in pay-per-click, just keeping it simple. And then we, tell you a bit about a month, share the podcast.
How does one sign up to this amazing newsletter?
I do believe there's a sign up on our website. In the footer of our website, www.frank.com, sign up. Or, message me on LinkedIn and I'll add you. That's my level of confidence of how many people will actually want to sign up.
People who listen to this and will sign up. I can guarantee there'll be one person, if she's listening, Emily, hello. She might already be on there.
She's probably on there, mate. She's getting it.
She's our number one fan.
She's our number one fan, for sure. For sure.
I always look at her, I'm like, oh, someone in the US is listening to our podcast. I'm like, oh, it's Emily.
Oh, she's a good one. That's all right, though.
Did you want to say how amazing the stats were before we move on?
No, it's not that great, mate. No, I'm joking. They're all right. We're happy. But roughly, like, we had the first one had a 30% open rate.
Wow.
But the second one only had 10% open rate.
I actually wanted to talk to you. I'm going to go on a sidetrack, but our emails keep going into spam for a lot of people for me.
The actual email newsletter?
No, from like my actual email, if I'm emailing someone.
Really? So when you email a client, it goes to spam? You need to tell Stuart. Can you put a task for Stuart in Asana?
Yeah.
So that delegation, not my problem.
Oh, anyway, example 2. I'll tell him. Right, Zoe, are we allowed to say this client name?
I don't know. I don't think we have before. I don't think we should. I think we should say a leading catering company.
A leading catering company. Our next example of how PPC can work very well for SEO is PPC tends to get data a lot quicker. So we can find out if pages are converting a little bit, if they're working. We can also to see what search terms as well. I'm talking specifically about Google Ads here or Microsoft Ads, just because we get keywords. This is one of the things that, if you're doing any sort of Google Ads or Microsoft Ads, you probably should be reviewing search terms. If you're not, that's a problem. But if you are reviewing search terms, you'll know that you can get found for terms that are irrelevant. But sometimes what's really nice is you find these little nuggets of keywords that people are searching for that we may have missed in keyword research, or there's not a huge amount of volume for them, which is why they don't show up in keyword research, that you can then we can see if they're converting, but we can test it as well. So one of the nice things with doing this is we can find really niche keywords. I'm able to say to Zoe and Stu, who work on the account, hey, can we create a landing pages like this? And all they're doing is just updating keywords basically, but can you make it for this? I can then test it very quickly, but also it allows us to open up other doors, other revenue, and then we can have that open conversation with the client and say, look, we found this keyword. Is this something that you do? And do you want us to shout about it, etc.? And it's really nice because those pages that, Zoe, correct me if I'm wrong, they don't actually live like on the navigation and stuff like that, do they?
Not always. Not often they don't, to be fair. Sometimes they do, often they don't. It's usually like a sub-service page, isn't it? So like maybe it's like a fraction of a service. It's very specific for a very certain audience, because Lee just kind of like weeds out these lovely little keywords. And another way to get these, by the way, for like the SEO guys would be on Google Search Console. Sometimes we find them as well. It works either way, but often it does come from pay-per-click, I think. But we, like export all of the keywords in Google Search Console and look for keywords, long tail, probably going to have fewer clicks, as not on those searches, obviously. And then you can create these very niche pages on them. They tend to rank really well because they're so specific. Tend not to get many clicks, but that's okay because you only want the right clicks. And obviously, when you, again, like, they don't get many clicks, but you only want the right ones. When you team it up with a pay-per-click, they can go after very specific audiences and keywords and get you higher up on Google.
And the beauty of it is, right, and this is what I love about it. If someone is searching for something very specific, and I'm going to chuck out a keyword, this isn't one that we actually rank for, but like catering for Pilates gyms, for instance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What would be really nice if someone searched for that, an ad came up, or an organic ranking or an AI overview, and someone lands on a page and it's literally the keyword that they want. There's a picture of catering in a Pilates gym and it's like bang on the money. This is exactly what I was searching for. I'm going to convert. No brainer.
Yeah, totally agree. And you can do the same thing with like location pages as well. That's another good example. If you are trying to target a very specific location, don't go and create thousands of them. Just calm it down, be reasonable with it. You know, focus on like genuine locations that you want, genuine locations where you've got like case studies, images maybe. If even better, if you've got like an actual office there or something, you will basically you're building up these like niche and small audiences. And I won't go too much into this. We have built a whole podcast on the value of small audiences, which is episode 16. If you're interested in that,
I'm on it today.
Getting the plugs in today, mate. I'm absolutely on it.
Why are we not less more confident in all of our previous episodes?
I don't know. I've slept well. But yeah, it's sub-services, niche, location pages, anywhere where you're going to be creating very niche audiences. Episode 16.
The location stuff is interesting because I was talking with Emily, who, and we speak about Emily a lot, but she is a client of mine.
Oh, Emily.
And the CEO of the company, Danny, was talking about his competitor. He was like, these guys are like everywhere. And he goes, they've only got one location. He was like, Lee, why are they everywhere? I could search like X, Y, and Z in Arkansas and they're there. And I'm like, I don't know. So we had a look. They literally had a location page for every single state.
I mean, if it's helping them, like, you should do it.
It was like X, Y, and Z service in blah, blah, blah. So when you landed on the page, it looked like they had a location or a physical shop there, but they don't. But it was very well done on this page because I was like, oh, well, maybe they're just huge and they've just got franchises. And he was like, they don't. They have one shop in Florida. He was like, they are not in Arkansas.
Right.
It was very well done.
Yeah. And you can do that. I feel like people are often a bit scared. Like, okay, it is a bit spammy. I know you shouldn't really be building them like that when you're not there, just for every state, just because. But like, if it's working, like, I would do it. Like, I think it's a little bit like grey hat, like it's a bit naughty. But like, nothing's gonna happen, I don't think. In the worst case, maybe Google might start, deprioritizing those pages. Obviously, it's gonna try and prioritize people who actually have an office, which is why you should create Google business profiles if you've got multiple offices to kind of prove that.
I will preface this. That company that I'm talking about, they had a service that you had to send something to them to get done.
Right. Yeah, okay.
So it didn't necessarily matter that they didn't have a physical location.
Yeah, fine.
but it did because it's someone looking for that service in that area, but you had to send the stuff to them.
Yeah, so there you go.
Anyway.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more legit, isn't it? You have got to be careful with it.
Little bit.
I wouldn't be scared of it, though, from an SEO perspective. I really wouldn't. I would give it a go if I wanted to do that.
Yeah, and going back to the leading catering company, we recently did this, didn't we? Because they specifically wanted to target certain counties.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
And what's really fun with it, you can do is like add in like dynamic keywords as well, so you can get the page to change depending on where that person is. So
Yeah.
if someone is, I don't know, in Shrewsbury, you could get the keyword to say catering in Shrewsbury because it picks up their location on their browser.
Moving on to example 3.
Do you want to start this one?
Yes, this is actually for the same client. So the exact same client talks about getting the niche pages. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about creating niche pages. Lee's doing the pay-per-click ads to those specific audiences. That's good. It doesn't have to stop there. There's something else you can do with these audiences, and that's like retargeting. So this, to be fair, is more of a paid activity. But what SEO can do is build up these niche audiences by creating pages. It doesn't have to be a location page. It doesn't have to be a subservice page. It could be a blog. It could be the right audience is looking for a certain problem. So you know that someone who's viewed that particular page is one of your ICPs with a specific problem. And then you can retarget them with ads. Your audience doesn't have to be big. I think it has to be like only 100 people. It's either 100 or 10. It's really small. It used to be 1,000. And we would always say it's over 1,000 or 100. It definitely used to be 1,000. It's now only like 100 people. So you only need to build an audience of 100.
It differs on each platform, but it is a lot lower than it used to be.
I think Google is 10 or 100. I think it's 100.
I think let's go with 100. I always get this wrong.
Yeah, same.
I think it's 100.
You can build the audiences in Google Analytics. We should probably like create a little Loom video or something and then attach it to this podcast. I'll do that.
Yeah.
That'll be the little thing that you can view and join our newsletter to view it.
Okay.
I'm going to do it this time. So once you've built the audience, Lee can then retarget them. And this is a really good way that SEO and pay-per-click come together. Is there anything you want to say on that, Lee? Because I feel like that's more of a pay-per-click thing once the audience is built.
So we've actually done this recently. So we've created some sub-services for particular, well, I can say it like barbecue catering, summer parties, garden party catering. They're very niche keywords, but what's really beautiful about it, the audience have been built up not only organically, but because we're doing Google ads, which they do have a higher search intent. So you do get traffic there quite quickly to be able to retarget. And then what's really nice is on Meta, because we know people have gone to those specific pages and we can retarget, the ad copy, the ad creatives, everything lines up. So I know if someone's been onto the barbecue catering page, for argument's sake, we can then show them a picture of a really fancy barbecue, really nice ad copy, catering. So you're utilizing this across both different like platforms now. You can do this on Google as well. Anywhere that you can retarget, you can do. And it's just a matter of making sure it's quite niche, because I think sometimes retargeting, especially when it's service-led stuff and not e-commerce, because products are slightly different, but when it's service-led, I think people tend to just like catch-all, like, oh, we're just a catering company, come in.
Yeah, totally agree.
But how nice is it to have, again, imagery, ad copy that is literally something someone has searched for and you've got back to them. Yes, it's small, but the beauty of that being small, it's higher intent audience here. But then you don't have to have huge budgets to retarget these niche people. If they're a much more higher intent audience, you're going to convert them better. So it's actually a really cost efficient way of getting new leads in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I think we've got some nice stats here, though, actually, from doing all this.
Yeah, we do. So for this client who we have worked with for, it's got to be 2 years now.
2 years, yeah.
I've worked with them for a long time. Site engagement has increased by 128%. Page views have increased by 48%. This is just the rough numbers. Newsletter forms submissions increased by 28%. A 480% increase on submissions through the contact form. clicks have increased by 69%. Clicks for the email have increased by 61%. So these are all the conversions that we track. And as you can see, we're tracking things like actual site conversions, not just like clicks and stuff. We want to know if we're actually converting traffic once we've got it.
The form submission is their like hottest contact, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we really want to get. Overall conversion rate has increased by 180%. Conversion rate from paid media has increased by 208%. And organic search has increased by 48%. So lots of good stats there.
We've over doubled just by all these little tactics. We've over doubled. That's not even a word. Over double? Well, it's more than double, isn't it?
Yeah, more than doubled.
More than doubled. Conversions. But what's really funny is their marketing budget hasn't changed. The media spend has remained the same for them for 2 years. We've only just started to increase their media budget because there is more potential. But that is with same media budget, same marketing spend. Nothing changes there. We just get cleverer at how we convert people.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got another one here.
Tell you what, this is a nice one because this is specifically looking at how we've spoke about this B2B SaaS company, just touching about our landing page. But again, with PPC, what's good is because you can get traffic to the website a lot quicker than you can organically. We like to use it for testing and we can see how people are using the landing pages, where they're sort of dropping off. This only works for some clients that are willing to test and have some sort of budget as well. I wouldn't recommend this if you've got really tight budgets, but what we do know is how users are interacting with the page, what they're doing, etc. And you can find all this out using like heat mapping software. So you've got Hotjar, or a free version, Microsoft Clarity is really good. But you can see how people are using. And one of the things we did here was people weren't converting, and it was a real struggle to get them to convert. And what we quickly identified was that the user had to take like 3 clicks to like submit a form or something. It was crazy. It was like they landed on a page, took them to a contact page. They then had to fill out a form and click submit. So it's quite a lengthy journey, really. So one of the things we did was they were already using HubSpot. So I said, why don't we just get the HubSpot sort of round robin book a meeting time in? So that's what we added to the page. We stripped out the contact form. There obviously was a contact form on the contact page, but we added in this and we made sure this fucking book a meeting widget, if you like, was on our landing pages, and conversions were really good and they had much higher intent, and the people it went to, had those calls very quickly, and it was at a time that was convenient for someone else, and they didn't have to go through 3 steps and send an email or a form and wait for someone to come back to them. They could literally book a call in the next 15 minutes if they wanted to. So it worked really well for these guys.
This goes to show, this is where I think a lot of SEO goes not wrong, but where it hits a ceiling and it just doesn't get better. Actually, this is a good example of this. So I've just taken on a client where the SEO was actually quite good. So when I looked at Google Search Console, I was actually a little bit nervous about taking on the account. So the SEO looks quite good. I mean, they are growing in traffic. That's not easy to do now because of the AI overviews. It takes a click, so click graphs aren't what they used to be. But the client was saying that their conversions are not good enough, basically. They're not where they want them to be. And I did an audit. Like I said, I was feeling a bit nervous because the clicks were so good. And the more I looked at the website and the more I got through this audit, I was like, the conversion rate optimization just isn't there. There was no trust builders. The business didn't look like it was alive, really. It was just like a website that was quite static, and there was no services on there. It's an e-commerce website, yet there weren't the cards, the images of the cards that they take weren't there. Like, it didn't look like you could buy online, even though you could. So in order to do this SEO audit, what we did really was more like Crow. Now, I'm way too early in the project to give you any stats on whether or not this is worked out, and I will let you know. But to me, this is a real indicator of where SEO isn't just about rankings, and pay-per-click isn't just about an ad, an ROI, is it? If you don't do what you need to do to get the clicks and to get the conversions, your SEO and pay-per-click is going to hit a ceiling. It's not going to perform. So that actually is a really good example of where improving a landing page actually does more for your channel. And this is so important now, especially, I think this has always been important, but this is more prominent in SEO now, where your click graph is not going to impress a client anymore, because you're not going to be able to say, we've had 1,000 more clicks to a page, because getting those sort of clicks on an important page are highly unlikely, just because AI overviews is doing some of the work and people are getting to websites in a whole new way now. So you have to be looking at conversions and money generated, and you are only going to get those if you're doing work like this. That's right, isn't it?
You do see it quite a lot. Anyone can get traffic to your website, quite frankly. It's not hard to get traffic there. It's hard to convert them. SEO and PPC are just tools for traffic, aren't they? Tools to get in front of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your website is your business, and your shop front as well. Like, because people need to understand, like, if you had a physical shop and you just made it really difficult for someone to find the product to even go to a till to check out, like, how are you, like, it's the same principle. It's just online, isn't it? You got to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
And people, unfortunately, these days are lazy and don't have an attention span. So if someone has to take more than 3 clicks to get anywhere, you've lost them.
Yeah, agree.
It goes back to like that, having like niche landing pages that we spoke about, because you're literally spoon feeding someone. You're like, and that's essentially it. And that's why it converts better, because you're giving them exactly what they want right there and then. Speaking of that client you've just mentioned, was that who we spoke about in that coffee shop the other week?
Yes. A leading arts dealer. All of our clients are leading.
They are, because they work with us.
Yeah.
A leading arts dealer, that's so funny. They are probably.
Yeah, they probably are, to be fair. Okay, so I think that covers everything off quite nice, doesn't it? So the takeaway here is stop working in silos, talk to other marketers. And we're just talking about SEO and pay-per-click, and this is true for like email. Like if we're working with a client with a good email team, we're connecting with them. Yeah, anything. Social media, like actually with the arts the other day, I had a meeting to present my audit, and they brought in their social media person, because it's good for everyone to just know what's going on.
It's consistency.
Yeah. And so if she has a social media post that goes really well, like tell me, because there might be something we can do. It's obviously interesting to the audience. Maybe we need to write a blog as well or whatever. And the same goes to her. If I find a blog's going really well, I'm going to tell her so she can share it on social media as well, and like, cut it up and do a carousel or something.
And the same goes for our podcast, because this could be a blog. This could be...
It could be.
Social media. This could be in the newsletter. It could be.
It could be. And if I just did my job, which is to create it, it would be. Oh, wow. But yeah, this podcast is absolutely, could be all those things. And when we've got a new website, will be, it's in build now, guys. We've made it. All right, so we're hoping to cover in our next episode, well, in fact, I'll just recap this quickly. Talk to other marketing people, build pages that help SEO and pay-per-click. I think that's a big takeaway. Optimize them for conversion. Don't just put a landing page up and expect it to work. You need to look at it, iterate on it, change things, add booking links, whatever it might be, to improve it. Build audiences and retarget them. So have a look at how to build audiences in analytics. It takes literally 5 minutes to set it up. So yeah, it's easy to do. So just do it. And it's an SEO. I would rather build too many audiences than none. So just build what you can, and then maybe in the future they'll be used. And next episode, we are hoping to cover search isn't searching anymore. Welcome to agentic search. So the Google I/O conference, they talked about Google being AI search. They're saying it's no longer part of it. Google is AI search. Things are changing, I think, big time in search. I think this is going to be massive in the coming years. I think it'll take time to get there. But there's going to be a point, they believe, where people will no longer be on websites buying things. It'll be agents doing it on behalf of the human. I think that's completely true. I think we're already seeing that. Like, even in our like marketing processes, like I'm doing things with agents. I'm not doing it myself anymore. And it's just a matter of time before this reaches like average Joe in the public. If I'm lucky, I've got someone to come and join us on this who's a lot hotter on this than I am. If they don't come, I will do my best. I've written a couple of articles on it, watched the conference highlights and the keynotes, so we'll see. But yeah, the person I'm thinking of is really well versed in this. So if you enjoyed the podcast, please do subscribe on any platform. Like, we're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to hear more from us, we are doing our newsletter once a month. I think it's really quite helpful. Just cuts through some of the noise, gives you one pay-per-click thing to think about, one SEO thing to think about that we think are important. Yeah, and that's it until next time. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next podcast. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Frank Marketing Podcast. We'll be releasing a new episode every month, so don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.